Good morning, good morning. We are back. The show is called a TBR SSF Show, which simply means TBR Solution Sports Forum. It is myself, the Saubrey Boyz Walefatshe. Unfortunately, I'm solo. I'm solo today, this morning. All the guys have commitments. And then, so unfortunately, I have to run solo. But there's quite a lot to do because I still have you on the other side, which means the mere fact that you are there, the beat goes on. Remo, we are together. Sisonke, Singwe, on Sesam. Let's move on. Um, there's quite a lot happening. Tonight we have a big one. Sundowns is playing, Pirates is playing. They play at the same time, both teams. Remember, they are both chasing the league, one and number two. The difference is about 16 points between Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates. Now, the mere fact that the difference is so huge in terms of um, the, 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 the points, but there's also the news that remember Pirates still have about games in hand, but the issue of games in hand does not guarantee points. But if they win those games, and then that means they can recover. Who knows? And then if Mamelodi Sundowns win the league this year or this season, it will be for the eighth time. All right. So you are watching the space very closely, whether they will win it for the eighth time or they will move until they make it 10, close 10, or close a decade, winning the league. So it's quite a lot. So there's so many news from all different angles. There are those people who are arguing that, oh, Riveiro should try by all means to ensure that Saleng is brought back to the team. Looking at the games that Pirates they're facing the league. There's Nedbank Cup. They are playing in CAF. So for them to really make it in this tight schedule, so there is a rumor that they need Saleng. They need Saleng back. We know that there are those people. We hear so many things. As I always argue and say, the problem is we don't get the news. And no one is telling us. Pirates is not saying anything. Saling's management is not telling us anything. So we end up speculating. So now, today, I want us to deal with two questions. Do you agree that Pirates coach need to try by all means to ensure that Saleh is robbed in again for them to really go through whatever that they go through in this challenging time? This month is a very tough month because if they win tonight, Pirates, and they win again on when they play Mamelodi Sundowns over the weekend, the chances are um, they still have a chance when it comes to the league. But if they lose tonight and they lose again over the weekend against Mamelodi Sundowns, that means the chances are getting slimmer and slimmer. There's no way I think Mamelodi Sundowns will lose the league. Um, so if that is the case, so um, I don't know what's your take about that. As I've already indicated that there are those people that says Pirates coach go out there, negotiate with Saleh, try by all means that you need him for these remaining games, and then at the same time, you also have people who are saying no. Um, the team is bigger than the player. If you are a Pirates fan, do you think will that be a very good thing for the Pirates coach to do? To say, look, we need you for these remaining games, which are very, very crucial for us to either win the titles or the league. So I don't know what will be your attitude towards that. It all depends. And then at the same time, will the win of Mamelodi Sundowns this evening and again on Saturday, simultaneously the lose of Orlando Pirates this evening and over the weekend will signal the end of the race. So those are two questions that I want us to look at as we discuss. You tell me what to take. Um, I don't know if you look at Pirates they play very well, but you can see that the time when Maswanganye was injured, it showed that there is lack of depth, and then because of that, that is why they were struggling. Some people are arguing and saying Paris should have added the firepower during the January window period, and then they didn't take that opportunity to do that. With Mamelodi Sundowns, we hear that Tembazwane, he may be starting to play again. They say he's closer to fitness now. Um, so the firepower, as far as Mamelodi Sundowns, is increasing. The chances are increasing. And remember, they are winning Mamelodi Sundowns. The momentum is there. Because of the momentum is there, and then now you can imagine they have Tembazwane, they have Riveiro, and then I don't know whether you watched the game of Bafana Bafana during the chat. I'm sure you have seen how effective Mayema was, and that's also a Sundowns player. So there's a whole lot of firepower as far as Mamelodi Sundowns. So that also talks a lot. And then we saw Orlando Pirates. They did well, but we saw that Mufokeng, I don't know whether it was fatigue and so on. We couldn't see him well the last game. And then somebody was saying, no, 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 why fatigue? You know what? Great players do get fatigue. We hear that Messi has not been playing for 3 games now due to the fact that is attributed to fatigue, that his muscles are tired. Because his muscles are tired, now they're trying to manage his gameplay. Now you look at Mufukeng, still very young, a young man, and so on. I don't know whether when you are young, and that's when you are stronger, or when you are older, that's when you are stronger, or when you are older, you become weaker and weaker. I don't know, but let me hear your opinion. Now, do you agree with those people who are sharing the sentiments that maybe Rivero should try by all means, and they must swallow their pride and try to ensure that Saleng is robbed in again? So let me hear your opinion, and then we'll take it from there. And then, as I say, remember on the 16th, which is Sunday, you also have Orlando Pirates versus Mamelodi Sundowns. All right, number 1 and number 2, and then it's gonna be a very big game. So I don't know whether tonight's game and Sunday's game will tell us about the league. That it's either the league is wrapped up or there's still a chance. So I don't know what's your opinion. But now, as I was saying, if you look at Pirates too, they have a very good players. They have a very good playing staff. Your quarter, those are the good players. They're playing well. And then in the back there, and they're trying their best. Although they are a little bit shaky at the back, and then I don't know when Nda is gonna come back, because I think that's what they also need. The absence of Nda is quite apparent. You can see that, ever since Nda, um, disappeared in the scene, they are struggling a lot. So I don't know. And then we want to see what's going to happen. But nevertheless, remember, even them, they are playing with teams today. It's not that the teams that they are playing today, they'll make it easy for them. It's going to be very, very difficult for them. You know that Amazon, they are playing Mamelodi Sundowns tonight at 7:30. Amazulu too, they also doing well. Arthur Zwane is doing exceptionally well, and I'm happy for him. A very good friend of mine. I'm happy for him. He's doing well, and then so we'll see. And then it's very exciting because when you see a team like Amazulu, those are the teams who were carrying our league, during those olden days, during the time of Sugar Ray, Lulu, and the time of many greats, Blackhead Tele. There's so many players who are from Amazulu. So um, Zungu has just decided to revive that culture of Usutu, Usutu Lamapeshankon. So now they are also prepared to fight it out. They are also prepared to raise their hand and then to say, look, we are there, we are competing, we are not just passengers. We also want to be counted because we are playing also in the Premier Soccer League. We are not just playing in the lower league and then they are doing us a favor. Now, Stellenbosch, we've seen Stellenbosch this past few days. They have been having problems. I think they're still angry. Steve Barker is still angry about the goal that Kaiser Chiefs scored, the second goal. I think the majority of the people agrees that that goal should have been allowed, should not be allowed to stand because there was a foul on the goalkeeper. Somebody was saying, I think it's Roger Dissar, to say maybe we need a VAR at the level of rugby and cricket. At the level of rugby and cricket, the VAR there, when they are analyzing or they are checking the goal or they're checking a foul, they show it on the screen and you can hear the referee talking to the video assistant referees, analyzing what did they see. But in football, we don't see that. And then maybe that's a shortcoming that needs to be overcome because we need to hear, because people are asking what happened, because the linesman ruled out that goal because he thought he saw a foul. He saw a foul, then the referee went, and the referee was convinced because the referee pointed to the center as a goal, signaling a goal, and then he went there, so the referee had made up his mind. So we hear that action will be taken against the referee because but I don't know. I don't know whether that will be a deterrent enough. Um, Minister Mackenzie once said that those soccer bosses who don't want VAR to see the light of the day for their own reasons because they are benefiting when the situation is like this. So I don't know. We'll see. And then we'll watch the space very closely and see what's going to happen. So now, tonight, all the teams, we wish them good luck and then to see whether they can survive. Steve Barker, I think, heads up, you're doing very well at Stellenbosch, considering that, every year you lose players, but simultaneously you continue to build the team, you continue to compete, and then you play a very good football. So I think you are doing exceptionally well. So now those are some of the things that we need to look at, and I'm sure Stelis won't be just watching. They'll be playing. They'll be playing for a win, as much as Amazon. They'll be playing for a win. They won't be playing just to say, "Hey, we are here as a team that is accompanying Mamelodi Sundowns to finish the league, or accompanying Orlando Pirates to fight for the league." No, no, no. They'll be there playing, also playing for the points, because pride also matters to all of them. So now, my two questions that need to be answered. Do you agree that Saleng should be brought in by the coach and swallow his pride and say, "Come in, help us"? Do Pirates need Saleng now for these remaining games? But these remaining and crucial games, for that matter, it's not just remaining games, they are all crucial games. So do they need that? Or they need to stick their guns to say, no, 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 no one is bigger than the team? Or what should Orlando Pirates do? Again, should Pirates win today and over the weekend? That will give them a chance. Or do you agree that if they lose tonight and over the weekend, it's over with the title race? So if you can also share your opinion as far as that is concerned, I will appreciate. Now, there's quite a lot, but remember, there are not only those teams that are playing, there's quite a number of games that are playing. But in the meantime, let me also share with you the news about us as a company. That, remember, we are a financial company. And then you may want to know what's happening, because things are tough. It's the war is raging in Ukraine, and now it's becoming more and more intense now. Things are crumbling in Europe. You see, there's turmoil there in Britain, in France, and then now remember, those are the centers of economy in the world. So now, if there's those upheavals, it's going to have an impact in terms of exports and imports, and then the currency. Now, because all those things, all those factors are going to put too much pressure on the inflation. And then once they put too much pressure on the inflation, the Reserve Bank, they should try to control the inflation. And then now, their strategy all the time, increase the interest rate or lower the interest rate. It's a debate. Now, whether increase the interest rate or not, if the repo rate, not the interest rate, because the interest rate will be increased by the commercial banks. Now that's going to make debts more expensive. Now, the only way to get out of the situation, get rid of the debts. Debts are really, really biting. And then miss a month or two, you see the interest that they add. Not only interest, they add so many additional costs, and that becomes too much. That makes the debt very expensive. So now the best way is to deal with debt. Here is a book that I wrote, which is called How to Get Out of Bad Debts, Use Other People's Money and Resources to Get Rich, because that's very important to ensure that you move out of debt. And then we also have another book by a friend, Nom Summers Bugo, An Entrepreneur Awakening with a Drive. She's a businesswoman. She's running a business. Just learn how did she do it, and then maybe you can get some tips, because we learn from others. And then here's the first book that I wrote, Secrets for Becoming Rich, and this is the second edition of it. So if you want to make sure that you want to learn, so those are the books that you can get. But not only those books, there's quite a lot that you can get. from us. And then, having said what I said, Saddam would have been here, would have reminded me that, hey, don't forget that Amakosi, they are playing Cape Town City. That's tomorrow. They also play at 7:30. So, having looked at Amakosi, what's your take? Do you think Amakosi have turned the corner, or what's happening? Because now they've won 2 games, which is good for them, augurs well for the Kosi Nation. And then, it doesn't matter how you win, whether you win by offside or what. The fact of the matter, people are not going to remember that you won via offside or via an infringement or a penalty. The fact of the matter, we would have won. So they are playing. And then I don't know what's your take. Do you think Amakosi are rising again? Are you happy with the way they play? And then I must say, I commend Yusuf Mart. And then as they were debating the goal, the referee and the linesman, the Chiefs players were going there furious with the referee or the linesman. Then he was calming them down as a captain to say, no, let's allow the officials to do their work, which is quite good. That was very brilliant. So we'll see what's going to happen. Yeah. And we know the news that the Royal AM, they are on auction already. So, so those are the set news of our football. And then simultaneously, and then I saw that Jomo said, that is why I'm not going to buy a team for 80 million. And then after buying a team, then you lose it, it gets relegated. And our football is surviving only by the grants. And then people don't go to the stadium and so on. And then as a result, there's no survivor. And then not necessarily going to the stadium, and even sponsorship. The sponsorship is concentrated to few teams. To be precise, it's Chiefs, Pirates, and Sundowns. Sponsorship is concentrated there. Yeah, these other teams, they do get, but the real deal is concentrated to these 3 teams. As a result, it makes the playing field not level. So now, and then we'll see what's going to happen. And then there's any lesson to learn from there. I don't know. Maybe you also have an opinion. What's your take? And maybe there's a lesson to learn. And then because there's a lesson to learn, and then the soccer bosses, like your mom Kize, who unfortunately had to lose a team. And remember, that's an investment for her. So it's not a nice thing to lose, a team that worked so hard and invested time and money and resources, and then all of a sudden, the same team is now put on auction. And this phenomenon, it doesn't stop. It has been there, your Tembisa Classic. You know very well that at some point, Tembisa Classic was on sale, which was the pride of Tembisa. And then, but you know what? I don't know. Or maybe our soccer bosses, they need to change strategy. Even in England or Europe, we see that the teams now are being bought by corporates or people with deep pockets. And then those are the people who take the teams. Now, having said that, now let's continue with the show. And then let me share some other news. And then before I go to the last 2 books, let me share the Messi special. And then, we know that Messi is not playing these days. And then due to fatigue, as we are told, and then that, no, he is not feeling well. But guess what? He was voted as the best player in MLS. This is the poll conducted among the league players. So he got 88% of the votes. So in other words, even the players themselves have come to admit that this man is a GOAT. So whoever that argues to say no. So the the stats are not agreeing. And guess what? When you compare the impact that he has done to MLS and the impact that Ronaldo has done in Saudi Arabia, Messi plays in front of sold house all the time, and then they need even more bigger stadium. And Ronaldo's games, most of the time, they play in empty stadium. Empty stadium, yes, there are fans, but not as compared to what is happening in MLS. So, yeah, those are some of the news that we can share. And then before I move on, let me share the last two books that you can get from us. The other one is this one, How to Win the Wealth Game, The Art of the Money by Dr. Darlene Small, an economist with 33 years experience for working for the Reserve Bank. So yeah, so those are some of the books that you can get. And then here's another one. This one you can get it in both hard copy and also as an ebook. The ebook you can get it on Amazon. It's called How I Turned 500 into a Million Rand Business. So I'm sure you can also do the same. It's simple. I always say it's not about the money, it's about the character. If the character is good, and then because having not money, it always happens all the time. Things don't go smooth at all times. So sometimes there's no money, and then how do you survive when it's like that? Do you crumble or do you cry? What do you do? And then I always give this example. I said 2011, Elon Musk didn't have money. 2021, he was the richest man in the world. So it's a question of how do you survive when things are like that. Not having money is not a strange thing. It happens. It happens to the best and so on. So yeah, please continue to subscribe and like and let me hear your comment. Now, don't forget the topic for this morning. Very simple. Should Orlando Pirates coach recall Saleng to go through the remaining games? Will the loss of Orlando Pirates tonight and over the weekend, simultaneously the win of Mamelodi Sundowns tonight and over the weekend, signal the end of the title race? Now, let me hear your opinion. So, I would love to hear what's your take and who you want to win. Mamelodi Sundowns, if they win the league, it will be for the 8th time. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll watch the game. We'll watch the story very, very closely. And then hopefully you'll be able to interact. I thank you so much for always being there and then supporting us. Much appreciated. I thank you. Bye-bye. Hi, everyone. I'm sure you are already in the year 2025, and then you are asking yourself, what are you going to do? Some of you have been working for many years, and then now you are contemplating of either resigning or going on retirement. And it looks scary. You're not sure what are you going to do, how are you going to survive, you're worried about your pension, and so on and so on. Especially if you're a GPF member at the age of 55 and above, and you are in those situations. You are thinking, what's going to happen? Remember, the most important thing, you need to think about how can you save the little that you have, in terms of how do you avoid penalties, because when you retire earlier than 60, you'll be penalized. How can you avoid that? Not to be penalized, not even a cent. You also want to make sure that you maximize in terms of the taxation. But get me right, tax applies to everyone. But you want to make sure that you are taxed as little as you can. And you want to do all those things. You need somebody who's skilled, somebody who's trained to deal with finance, because tax avoidance is allowed. because when you avoid tax, you use the tax law. Now, if you want to do that, to make sure that you save as much as you can, don't hesitate. Contact us, TBR Solution, or the BigR Financial Services, an authorized financial service provider. And then just say, please, I want you to assist me. I want to go out. So come and share knowledge with me. Now, no obligation. You don't have to make any obligation. Just listen to the facts. After listening to the facts, make a decision. Can listen to us, can listen to others, then so that you're exposed to various information, so that when you make a decision, it's an informed decision. Now, my name is the Saubrey Boyz Walefatshe from TBR Solution. Here I'm representing the bigger financial services and authorized financial service provider. If you want to know how to get hold of us, just look at the WhatsApp number, drop us your contact via WhatsApp. We'll therefore come back to you. I thank you.